Steve Davis here, Stillwater Woodcraft. What I wanted to do today is a little update on my 18th century style trekking kit. I've been doing these along the way as my kit progresses and changes, and do different things just to share with you guys what I'm doing. I think the last video I did on my kit, I was using a knapsack, okay, with the just like at my haversack, just with shoulder straps on it. The standard, nothing different than a backpack, okay. Now one thing I ran into with that is when I'm wearing it, it fit great, but it sits pretty high on your back. And then when you throw your bedroll on your tump line, it wants to hold your bedroll up and slide around and stuff. So by itself, for a day excursion, it's a pretty good pack. When you throw the bedroll on, it really kind of gets in the way. So with a little inspiration from Mark Baker, I made a two-strap knapsack, okay? And this is basically just a rectangular bag with two straps on it, okay? These are made out of some elk hide, and you can just tie them on here, and this pack will expand and contract with the size of your kit. Now what I really like about this pack is, slide it on, goes on quite a bit easier because the straps are longer than on the knapsack, but it rides lower. So when you throw your bedroll on, up over your head and it's down across your shoulders like this, and with a tump line, that's exactly where it wants to ride. Okay, you can still use your arms, your gun, everything. But now my pack is down under my bedroll. It's not holding my bedroll up. And this setup kind of really encourages you to keep your kit small. Okay, so if you don't make this bag real big, you can't put as much in it, which is a good thing. So it rides real nice, just like that. It really distributes the weight a little different. I don't even notice that knapsack behind me. And once you get your tump line, I just tied this, so I got to get my tump line kind of stretched out to fit my shoulders. Once you get that on there, I really don't even feel that kit as I would do with the knapsack or in the tump line or the bedroll tied to the knapsack. It just didn't work out for me real good. So what I'll do is we'll move around here and I'll get this pack down. I'll show you exactly how it's done and how I pack it in a close-up view. Alright, here's the kit unpacked, okay? Now nothing's really changed too much about the inside of my kit. I did pick up a workman's cap, okay? This is a very common 18th century style cap. It's a very thin wool with a checked linen lining. Okay, what I really like about this is it'll keep stuff out of your hair and a little bit of warmth when it's too warm for a knit cap, a heavy wool knit cap. It's just a real handy cap. And what I've found out, speaking of caps, this is something I've changed too. Okay, on my flop hat here, it's felt hat, shellacked and everything. It's a great hat. But when I do a lot of squirrel hunting, okay, when you're sitting against a tree squirrel hunting, the brim always wants to hit the tree, and like when you're looking up in the trees and your head tilts back, it wants to ride your hat forward, and you're always adjusting it. So I just tack the back up into what's known as a cocked hat, okay, and it just seems to be a lot better. But that's a couple changes I made to headwear, I guess. Now back on to what we was talking about. Okay, so this knapsack is a two-strap variety knapsack, and this knapsack came along after the single strap variety that we looked at in another video. But this is just a canvas bag, okay? And to the bottom two corners, I've sewed on a couple elk hide wangs here. And I made a set, two straps out of elk hide. These are like 1 inch and something wide, maybe 1 1/4 inches wide. And doubled these over, made loops at the top, and then using another elk hide wang, basically you got your shoulder straps and then your ties to tie the top shut. Okay, so it's just a bag. So the way I've been packing this, and it's been working really well, is I take my spare moccasins first here, and I lay them in there nice and flat with the soles against the knapsack, what will be against my back. Okay, so the soles are flat against my back here. Then I take my kettle. This is just my regular kettle with my food sack inside. I did make a canvas bag to put this in to kind of cut down on getting the black fire crap all over my gear. And I slide this in to the bottom there on top of them moccasins. And then moccasins are going to cushion from any pokes and stuff from this kit. And I got two, the two canvas ditty bags, bullet making, gun stuff, cordage and moccasin grease in one bag. And I put that on one side of the kettle. Then the other one, is old fishing kit and different stuff like that. My spoon, a couple things. I put that on the other side of the kettle. Then I take my fire kit, put it on top, like I always do. Throw my hat or anything extra I might have on top of that. Okay, so you stand this up, kind of shake everything down. Now you got your straps here. So I want to grab this, just kind of roll it shut, grab it. I take my straps, I go around it a couple times here. Just tie that shut. Then what I like to do is take this flap, roll it over, then take these ends and tie that shut. Now these ties I've made plenty long. They could be quite a bit shorter than that, but I figured it's easier to cut some off than to put some on. Then at some point in time that might come in handy. So basically now you got your pack packed. Your moccasins soles there are against your back, so it's makes a nice flat surface to ride your back, and it's just really working out to be a good pack. You could make one of these out of oilskin or treat it with some linseed oil yourself, or maybe just paint it with some paint, waterproof it if you want. I haven't done that, and it's been alright so far. So there's the upgrade to the carrying method. Now the only other thing I guess I've upgraded in my kit so far was footwear. Okay, I did buy a pair of buckle shoes. Now most people will associate moccasins with the 18th century frontier woodsman, but shoes were pretty common even among Indians, I've come to find out. In some of George Morgan's papers, 24 hunters that were getting ready to go out on a grand hunt to supply buffalo beef for the British garrisons, 8 of the 24 hunters bought a pair of shoes right before they left to go on a 4-month hunt. So that's telling me, that a third of them bought a new pair of shoes to take. we don't know how many already had a pair of shoes, but they were wearing shoes. And I still prefer the moccasins in the woods myself, but these are great for when it's wet or muddy and stuff. Your feet stay a lot drier than they do in moccasins. The downfall too of them is the bottoms are slick, and these are what's called straight lasted shoes. Okay, there's no rights and lefts when you buy them, so you kind of got to break them into your feet, which isn't bad. And you know, now that these are broke in good, you can't tell the difference between these and a right and left lasted shoe. You know, these buckle shut with shoe buckles. Just go shut. You can just put a lace through the latchets. These straps are called latchets, and tie them shut, which would be fine. And you know, they're working out all right. They're nice in horse stirrups too. You know, stirrups on a saddle and moccasins start, you know, they're narrow, and they'll start rubbing a sore on your foot. So a shoe's nice for that. And I do got one other piece of gear that I got. This is a great piece of trekking gear I got this winter. It's a folding handled skillet. Okay, you fold the handle over and stick it in your kit. The handle is socketed so you can slide a stick in here and lean it out over a fire. Now, the 18th century purist, you know, will argue this piece of gear is not being period correct, and you know, I'd have to say they're right about that. But it is also a great piece of trekking gear, okay, and it's pretty commonly used, you know, and accepted. But you know, a folding handle skillet, if I'm in the woods with me, or you know, me and a couple buddies, this isn't going to detract from my experience personally. Okay, I would not, however, take something like this to an event and present it as factual history, you know, but that's not really what I do. You know, like I said, I'm pretty selfish in this. I do it for myself. You know, it's not going to detract from my experience, but you know, it is what it is. This one is actually handmade, hand-forged. The entire thing's hand-forged by my buddy Chris Wick, and he did an absolutely phenomenal job on it. It's a great piece of gear, so I just wanted to show that to you guys. You can buy these from different sutlers and stuff. Chris doesn't make them for you know, a business or anything like that. He's kind of a hobbyist. So I wanted to show you guys that. I have to cut in here, guys. I about left out the coolest new piece of gear I got. Okay, when I went down to Prickett's Fort, the school of the longhunter, I ran into a guy down there who is the director of the fort named Greg Bray, who is also a professional blacksmith. Okay, he does blacksmithing full time, a lot of like wrought iron gates and stuff like that. Well, he also makes axes and knives and some guns and, you know, anything a blacksmith would make. So what I picked up from him was a belt axe, okay, completely hand forged. Now, I'd been using that Virginia belt axe from Larry Zorn, that I really like that axe. The problem with that axe is it's cast, okay, which, you know, shouldn't be a big thing, but it's you know, still a great axe. I mean, there's no problem with it. But what I did was I upgraded my kit, okay, as I could upgrade, to a hand forged axe. And like I said, this one Greg made. It is 3 different layers, okay. It's iron on the outside with a piece of high carbon steel forge welded in the center for the cutting edge, just exactly like an 18th century example would be made. It's got a pole here on the back. Now when I got this axe, it had a really nice curly maple handle on it, okay, and it, you know, it was a fine handle. It was just a little too thin for my hand. So I took the handle off of it, and I made in the woods, you know, a hickory handle, just exactly what I wanted that fits my, you know, arm length and the way I use an axe, and put it on there. And then I made a carrier for it. Now with any axe, you know, we got to have a way to carry it safely. So what I did was I took some bark tan deer hide that my buddy Tony Daniel had tanned, and I made just a pocket style carrier for this with a shoulder strap on it. Okay, it just sits down in there. This overhangs about an inch down in, so it's down in there secure. And I got the leather wet, formed it, and let it dry to the shape of the axe. Just put a simple shoulder strap on it. I can just sling that back out of my way. It rides real nice. I can take the strap, wrap it around the handle, put it in the straps of my bedroll and carry it that way if I want. But it's just a really nice axe, good quality, a good size. If you need an axe much bigger than this, you probably better just get the full-size axe. Here is a look at the head. Okay. See down here through the center, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very good, but you can see the carbon steel bit forge welded in the center. It's got a nice pole end on it. It's just a really good axe. The thing swings like a bullwhip. Okay, I'm really happy with it. So I wanted to show you guys that. A nice cutting tool upgrade, and if we're going to spend some money, tools is where you want to spend it. And that's kind of an update on the gear so far here for this spring, guys. You know, when I get enough changes in it to make another video on gear, I will. So thank you guys for your views, your support, all your comments. We'll see you on the next one.